Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for another episode of StormWatch. We're here to recap the three most recent games for the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry for the late podcast here. We actually recorded on Sunday prior to the LA game, but had a technical snafu. So we're re-recording. Bear with us if we're a little lackluster for the first two games because we already have podcasted about them.
All over again.
Yeah, so for us, this is old news, and hopefully at this point for you as a Hurricanes fan, it's old news as well. Hurricanes were 2-1 in their last three games. They get two wins versus the nasty waterfowl in the Ducks and the Penguins, and then lose at home versus the LA Kings on Justin Williams Hall of Fame inductee night. So go ahead. Let's get into the recap. Let's start with the Ducks game.
Okay.
Yep.
So the Ducks game, first of all, we have Kochetkov versus Gibson. Gibson was 7-16, 297 and 903 save percentage. Kochetkov 11-7-3, 250 even, 903. So they had the same save percentages. Zegras was out for this game. Fast was back in for us.
Nate is still out.
Pardon?
Nate is still out.
Yeah, Nate is still out. Absolutely. Kings lost 6-3 in Anaheim, their first meeting of the year, which was a little surprising. That was that brutal West Coast road trip.
That was the first West Coast trip. Yep.
Yeah, the first West Coast, not the Canadian West Coast.
Right.
Okay, so in the game, the Kings
6-3 was the final score of this one.
Okay, it was 6-3. So we flipped the score from our visit out to Anaheim. Kings had 34 shots on goal, 50% face-off thereabouts. We were 1 for 3 on the power play. We were Ducks were 1 for 5, so that means we were 80% on the penalty kill. Hits were pretty much equal, 14 to Ducks, 16 for us. Block shots, it seems like we always are getting out block shots, and maybe that's a symptom of the fact that we shoot the puck more.
We take more shots.
More shots. Yeah. The other thing I've noticed when I look at these, and we'll go through the other two games after this, is we give the puck away a lot more than the opponents do. And that surprises me because we're such an aggressive team.
Do you have the giveaways on each of these?
Yeah, the giveaways were 6 for us, 2 for them. Takeaways, though, were 10 for us and 4 for them. So,
again, if you have the puck more, you're going to be giving it away.
Yeah,
and the fact that we were winning on the takeaways, we dominated this game, right?
We dominated the game. The Ducks, we'll go through it, but the Ducks snuck back in the second period. But it was almost 10 minutes before the Ducks had their first shot of the game.
Yep.
Okay, so the scoring was led off by Brady Shea at the 16-minute mark. It was a nice, I guess I would call it a 3-on-2 feed.
Yeah, it was a nice feed from
Jarvis, and no one picked up Shea, floating down toward the goalie, and he had a beautiful shot. And then quickly, 15 seconds after that, we have a nice tic-tac-toe play.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
That was a thing of beauty. Teravainen does a spinorama.
Yeah,
spinorama pass stick of Aho, and he quickly crosses to Svech.
Yeah, passes it over to Svech for the one time. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah,
Gibson no chance on that one.
It's 2-0 after one.
Gibson did have some early saves in that game as well in the first, but going into the second.
Yeah, I think I made some notes about how Gibson was playing really well.
Yeah, we'll get into
I do want to say something about the first period because you and I had a discussion about Kochetkov's stick handling or puck handling. And the announcers were the Anaheim announcers, or maybe they were the national announcers. I think they might have been the Anaheim. This is a quote. It says, "It's a real weakness, Peter Kochetkov handling the puck."
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Until he scores a goal like he did in the AHL.
So okay. Yeah. So in the second period, the Ducks get off 25 seconds into the period, right?
Yeah.
Lundestrom, no one picked him up. Coming back, it was a 3-on-2 that kind of turned into two Kane skaters came back in the back check, but they went after the puck. They didn't go after Lundestrom, and he's sitting wide open. when the puck bounces to you, he made the most of it.
Yeah.
Leeson and McGinn. It's nice to see Brock McGinn on the scoreboard. Got the assist. Shortly after that, about a minute and a half later, Martinook in his 600th game brought the puck out of the O zone. Now, there was a little bit of controversy because you could argue that he closed his hand on the puck, but it's never called. It's never called in the NHL. It's got to be a egregious,
blatant,
penalty. Yeah. And he basically just skated up the ice, fed Jarvis, who fed it right back to him. And he did a nice little backhand to forehand.
Yeah.
So it's 3-1 Carolina at that point. At the 10-minute mark, Ryan Strome from Terry. The puck, I don't know if Terry shot it or Strome shot it. Yeah, like rolled up in the air.
Flipped up in the air, and he just batted it out of the air.
Strome just batted it out.
Yeah, kind of a
for
weird goal
ground
there.
Rule double. And then shortly after, there's I'm just trying to think if there was a power play on that play. If there's a penalty on that play, maybe not, because it's the 10:53 mark. So 45 seconds later, Vetrano on the power play takes the faceoff from Enrique, drills it, beautiful shot, his 20th of the year, ties up the game 3-3.
Snaps it quickly past Kochetkov.
Yeah. Yeah, Vetrano's a good player. I like him.
Yeah, just FYI, my battery is low here. If it dies, I'll recharge it in. We'll figure it out. Just FYI.
Okay. You want to plug it in now?
I can't because my mic is plugged in. There's no way to do that. Right? It's simultaneously.
Okay, so we'll do it quick.
Yep.
So the Kings score 14:30 mark of the second. Nason from Bunting and Kotkaniemi in close, nifty little backhand over the pad. 4-3 Carolina. Drury on another tic-tac-toe. I love those tic-tac-toe. Power play goal from Nason and Teravainen. It's 5-3. And then I think Drury in the third.
No, Jarvis.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, Jarvis from deflection of a Burns shot from the blue line makes it 6-3. And that was
Jarvis
the last scoring of the game.
Really good game here. He had 1 goal and 2 assists.
Jarvie
maybe he just had one goal, 1 assist. It looks like.
No, 1 goal.
No,
2
he did
assists,
have 2 assists. He did have 2 assists.
Plus 3.
Yep.
Martinook was 1-1 plus 3. Stahl was just 1, but he has a plus 3. Those are the only guys that had pluses.
Yeah. The oh really?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of I guess.
Well, on the from the forward standpoint.
Okay.
Chatfield had a plus. Burns had +2. Pesci had plus. So all the defensemen had pluses. But from the forward standpoint.
This was a really good game. I mean, 34-16 were the shot total on this one. We were pretty dominant throughout. There was a 10-minute stretch there at the start of the second where they definitely crawled back into it. It was, we actually did have a goal during that stretch as well, but just some quick strikes by them. They were back in it, but we were dominant throughout this game. Kochetkov does exit the game early.
That's right.
At the end of the second period. I don't remember exactly when it was. End of the second, middle of the third, somewhere in that time span. He takes a Ducks player, falls into him pretty hard after that player is checked by Orlov. And he was definitely wobbly coming up and needed some help getting off the ice. He is in concussion protocol. Hopefully he can get better soon. But Ronta took over the rest of that game. He didn't. I think he stopped 3 shots for the rest of that game. But yeah,
the 6:04 mark in the second was when he went
6:04 mark in the second. Okay, yeah. So Ronta does play all of the third period and a little bit in the second there. Like I said, I believe he only had 3 or 4 shots that he had to stop that entire time. So really light work for him. And one thing, I was at this game. It was a very fun game to go to. The Ducks fans next to me were getting a little bit jolly once they tied it up. And I was really glad to rub it in their face after they were saying when Drury scored his goal, the power play, he actually drew the penalty there. He was boarded, and they were kind of jawing at me. Oh, that's not boarding. I said, how is that not boarding? And clearly it is. Watch, the referees are going to call it, I promise. And so as soon as Drury scored on that, it was nice to gloat in their face a little bit. But good win overall. I mean, I don't know where they're coming from. From Anaheim, thinking they could talk that shit with the record that they have. How long have they been an irrelevant team? All right, come on. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Penguins, a slightly more relevant team.
One more note.
Go ahead.
We forgot to mention the Lemieux fight with Carrick.
Oh, right after the yes, thank you. Right after the Drury call, that's probably why they got animated. The Ducks fans, I believe Lemieux probably got a couple of the better punches in that fight.
I think so too.
He was taken to the ground first, but that's never an indicator of who won the fight, in my opinion. And so yeah, that's when the Ducks fans were kind of jawing. And he immediately jumped to the aid of Drury. He was up by the blue line and just very calmly skated in, and Carrick knew what was up. It was a good little tilt, and Lemieux definitely got the better of him. So always good to see a nice little fight. Next game there was the Pittsburgh Penguins versus Carolina. Final score of this one was 3-2. Go ahead with the stats on this one.
Yeah, that's fine. The first period, Aho and Svetch are fighting on the the left board, and the puck comes out to Svetch starts to skate away with it, dinks it back to Aho, and he quickly passes to Pesce, and Pesce scores his second of the year in the first period at the 6:12 mark, 1-0 Carolina. At the 9-minute mark, the Pens were trying to clear, and I'm not sure which Kane hit it in, but it hit a Pittsburgh defenseman's leg, bounced right to Martinook in front of the goal.
Chatfield.
It was Chatfield, yeah.
Chatfield
he got
kept it in.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense. And Martinook was very poised about it because he was 1-on-1, and he buried it. So 2-0. That's his fourth of the year. It's always a bonus when Martinook can score.
He's been playing well.
He's been playing well. He earns every point he gets.
Jarvis has given them some offensive jump to that line.
And Martinook's on the board. Pardon?
I said Jarvis has given them some offensive jump to that line, which is nice to see. And as far as I'm concerned, really hasn't been any let up defensively. He's really slotted in nicely for fast. But yeah, go ahead with the rest of the rest of the game.
So it's 2-0 after one. There's no more scoring until the third period. The Canes can't clear. Crosby stops at the blue line and hits a wide open Getzel. The Canes, I think, were trying to flood out of the zone. Crosby stopped the puck and said, "Go no further."
Yeah, this was right before or right after Ronta had just completely robbed Crosby. I mean, a minute or two later. Do you remember that save?
Let me see if I wrote something down on it.
Unreal save. The best save Ronta's made all season. Just unreal. He goes right to left, reaches out with his glove. Sidney Crosby one-timing it on the near post there and absolutely robs him.
So here's what my notes say on
that. Very next play was a similar play, and he's not able to pull it off again.
Yeah. Here's what my notes say. Ronta stops Crosby, stop of the night. Glove save, awesome.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. And then, again, I talked about the Kings not being able to clear. So we go to overtime. That was with 52 seconds left in the game.
Yeah. Russ scores with 52 seconds left. They did have the man advantage as far as they pulled their goalie. And with 53 seconds left, they were able to score. But yeah, Ronta was really good, and up until this point, and even throughout the overtime as well, it was a goaltending battle. Jari and Ronta were both sharp all night. Shots were 40-35, so both of them quite busy in net, only letting up 2, and then Jari letting up 3. But in the overtime period, it is Brett Pesce who's your hero, getting a pass from Teravainen and Seth Jarvis as well, factoring in on the play. Just a nice little drop off by Teravainen, and Pesce beats Jari on the blocker side. Just enough elevation to get it over the pad. Kind of gets her.
So Turbo's a pretty cerebral player, and I started thinking about this. He didn't like what he saw, so it's 3-on-3, and it's puck possession is the name of the game. So he just skated out to reset, and then I think he noticed that Crosby went for a line change, and then he took it back in. Malcolm couldn't catch up to Pesce. Rest is history. Pesce.
There you go. Yeah, good game by the Canes on that one as well.
We withstood a barrage, though, John.
Yeah, definitely.
30 shots for them in the second and third period combined versus our 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So penalty minutes were pretty equal. Hits were pretty equal. In this game, we actually had more block shots than Pittsburgh. 16 block shots. So Pens were putting the puck at the freaking net. Mm-hmm. We gave away 14 versus 7, and we took away 9 versus 6. So it was good to get a win from that game because it really could have gone either way.
Yeah, I like those takeaway and giveaway stats. Let's keep doing those.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nothing really on the box score. It's such a tight game. No one really stood out.
Yeah.
Pesci's 2 goals really was the story because you don't see him scoring that often. And 2 in one game is like a parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah, nobody scored on the power play that night. In the prior game, I believe both teams did get an offensive tally on the power play. Yeah, 1 for 3 on the power play and 1 for 5 on for Anaheim. And then with the Penguins here, it was 0 for 4 for Pittsburgh, 0 for 3 for the Hurricanes on the man advantage there.
So I'm trying to remember what happened to Ronta. He had to leave the game.
No, this is the next game. Ronta played through the Pittsburgh Penguins game. He was beat up in this game. Isn't this the one where?
No. I got Perez scored. I mean, Perez got in.
No, Perez gets in the LA Kings game.
Oh, do I have these on the wrong?
Yeah, you got these.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up. I know I'm right.
Ooh.
I know I'm right.
Bring in some spice.
I know I'm right
for the conversation.
I'll look it up for you right now.
Okay.
Players. I'm going down to Hurricanes. Ronta played 61 minutes and 41 seconds time on ice. So he played in the overtime as well. Riani Perez did not factor into this game.
I'm sorry. His name's here, but there's 0-0. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
The next game.
I swear, folks, we're usually better than this. Like I
what
said,
we've talked about.
It's
an honest mistake. I blame the NHL.com.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the Kings.
All right. Yeah, I'm at 6%. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. So Kings are a good team. 5%. You're fading in now. I might have lost you. There we go.
No, we're at 5%. Let's keep it going.
Okay. So starts off more scores from Dano and Gavrikov, 624, 1-0.
Before the game starts, Justin Williams induction into the Carolina Hurricanes Hall of Fame. It's worth mentioning. It probably was even bigger moment for the franchise. Definitely a bigger moment for the franchise than the game itself. We will talk about the game, but I just wanted to show a couple things real quick in honor of Justin Williams night. I've got some old school jerseys here. So I've got the Eric Stahl jersey with the Eric Cole signature. Doesn't make any sense, but love it. Then we've got this jersey back here. This one has got to be from 2000, 2001 maybe. The names on this jersey are unreal. We got Sammy Kapanen, Jeff O'Neill, Rod Brindamore, Bates Pataglia, Dave Karpa is on here.
Oh my God.
There's a couple more I can't recognize, but just an unreal jersey there.
That's from the old
Joseph
BBC
Vasicek,
line.
rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah. So
guy.
just wanted to show those and just kind of Justin Williams has meant a lot to this organization over the years, especially with him being there for kind of 2 different eras, which is really nice. And the fact that he was able to play this game and be honored in front of the LA Kings, who technically he did play 4 more games for. That being said, I did look into his stats. He was a better Hurricane statistically than he was for the LA Kings.
Yeah.
He had more points in less amount of time. So just going to throw that out there.
They showed those stats, and it was close, but
it was close.
But he won 2 Stanley Cups with the Kings, right?
He did win 2
and
Stanley Cups.
One with us. So he's
one with us.
Justin Williams has 3 Stanley Cups, Mr. Game 7.
And he
looked good. He looked like he could put the skates on and start playing.
Oh yeah, I mean it was only a couple years ago that he stopped playing, right?
But the most important thing about Justin Williams, he invented the Storm Surge.
He did invent the Storm Surge. Let us not forget.
Yes,
he is the inventor, one of the inventors, creators of the Storm Surge for sure. And he gave a hell of a speech. Trip Tracy gave an absolutely amazing introduction. Like it was. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch.
I watched the whole thing. It was so good. It gave me goosebumps.
I listened to him. You're going to lose your battery, but I listened to Trip talk to him in the booth, and I wrote down Trip is sucking up to Williams. Trip is such a suck up.
Yeah, but that's what he does. That's why he's great. Anyways, Anyways, I don't think we'll be able to recap it. I'm going to go ahead and plug in real quick, but just want to mention before I do have to plug in here. Yeah, just great to see Justin Williams honored in that way, to see his name up there. Cam Ward doing the handoff of the new, what do you call them, Letterman's jackets that they're giving all the Hall of Fame guys. Awesome. Williams gave a great speech to all of his family, thanked to everyone he possibly could. He even got Brindamore teary-eyed, which was unbelievable to see. They panned over to him on the bench when he was talking about Brindamore there for a little bit. So really, really nice for the organization. And I will go ahead and plug this in, and then we'll maybe recap in a couple minutes the rest of the LA game.
You don't pause or not? You can't pause.
I'm just going to hang up and don't do anything with your computer. I'm going to plug in. I'll call you on my phone. We'll talk for a second.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Well, now that we got rid of the weak link in our broadcast, I'll go through some of the stats. This is the second game in a row, I believe. Let me look at the Pittsburgh game, where no power plays were scored by either team. Kings were 0 for 4. Canes were 0 for 3. Hits were 13-9. Kings 18. Yes.
Go.
Okay, so we'll talk about the scoring in the Los Angeles Kings Hurricanes game.
5-2 your total. 5-2 your final score on this one.
Oh yeah, 5-2 final score. 32 shots versus 26
for the Canes.
For the Canes, yeah.
Hurricanes, that is.
Hurricanes.
Block shots were 9-18 for the Kings. Hits were 13-9 for the Kings, and faceoffs were 28-29 for Carolina. No one scored on the power play. 0 for 4 for the LA Kings. 0 for 5 for Carolina.
2 straight games without a power play goal.
Yep.
So if we were 1 for 3 and we were 0 for 3 and then 0 for 5, that's 1 for 11.
Technically, we gave up a shorthanded goal this game. The empty netter at the end was. I got those. Go jump into the scoring.
Okay, so the first score was by the Kings, 6:24 left. More from Dano and Gavrikov. I'm looking at my notes. I think Ranta took a puck to the mask, and I'm
6:24 into the game, not left.
6:24 into the game. Yeah.
Yep. Ranta took a puck to the mask. He makes a save from up high. He's looking through traffic, hits him in the face.
And I think he just lost it. I don't think he was dizzy or anything. I just think he just lost it after that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he located. He reached out for the save. It just kind of it's one of those hockey play type of goals. No one's really at fault, but just kind of took a hold of a good bounce. And Trevor Moore's on fire for them. It was his 19th of the season so far.
19th of the season. Dano's 17th assist. So it's 1-0 after one period with the Kings in the lead. Second period, Canes tie it. Martin Nook is 5th of the year. Martin Nook is like on fire.
Yeah.
Jarvis is 18th and Burns is 17th. I'm trying to remember how that goal went down.
It was a 2-on-1, really nice play. Jarvis flips it over to Martin Nook, one times it past Riddick, who was really good all night.
Yeah, he was. And I think in that play or just after that play, Stahl took a high stick that was uncalled.
Yes.
You saw that too? Okay.
I did, yeah.
And then my next note says, Tripp is still sucking up.
I've got a lot of notes this game. The Canes were just kind of dull. There were moments where they had good looks for sure, even in that first period where they were down 1-0. They had some good looks, particularly at the beginning and end of that period. But just in the second period, they had the goal, but just overall, just kind of dull, flat.
Yeah.
Whenever it's these weird kind of, and it's not always the case. For instance, we won when Cam Ward was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. We won that game. 6-2 was the final score of that game versus the Canadians. But anytime it's a weird matinee, it's a Monday 3 p.m. game.
Yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, it's just anytime it's kind of an odd thing like that, or anytime there's a big ceremony before the game, and you're just waiting 20 minutes before you can get going, you're just sitting there on the bench and your legs are going to give out. Plus the fact that we had some breaks before this, or I guess it was just 1 day break, but yeah, just a weird game. A little flat all game.
So regarding the flatness, I made a note here that says, I said we got to stop trying for the highlight goal. And then in one of the breaks, I think it was the first or second period. I guess it was the second period. They were interviewing Brendamore, and he said we got to stop we're getting a little too cutesy out there.
Yeah, he was referring specifically to the first power play unit at that time, which had some chances, but really kind of all night was not really good.
Okay. Then in the third period, the Kings exploded. Deneau scored his 9th. From Watt and Gavrikov.
Technically not, but at the end of a power play, just after the power play had ended, he gets that one through.
Okay.
Weird bounce off the board, and he backhands it in. But again, I don't fault Ronta on that one. Just a weird. Oh, again, it's just kind of these weird fast plays. I mean, they're taking advantage of open pucks and open opportunities. So,
yeah. And I noticed a couple times you and I had spoken about Ronta's weakness maybe being the 5-hole. I did make a note of a couple of attempts in this game where he closed the 5-hole
yes,
well.
He did. I don't believe he was beaten 5-hole this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then a minute later, Laferriere from Anderson and P.L. Dubois scores on a wrist shot. It's 3-1 Kings. Then P.L. Dubois scores his 9th of the year at the 5:20 mark.
Yeah, that would make it 4-1. That one was a ridiculous non-call on Chatfield. Do you remember that one at all? No. Dubois scores the goal, but it starts with one of their other players. I can't remember his name. One of their other forwards on his line basically is going with Chatfield, skating with Chatfield towards a loose puck as it's entering the Carolina zone, and the guy totally slingshots Chatfield. I mean, Chatfield has the inside edge. He hooks him, goes around him, gets a little mini breakaway on Ronta. Ronta actually does a really good job, forces the guy wide, tries to make a move on him. But then a pass up top and a pass down low to Dubois pretty quickly after for a one-timer.
And it's about this time where Ronta leaves the game.
Yeah, he does. He does leave the game there at the end. At the
14,
that goal, he leaves the game.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, so there was 14 minutes left or something like that. Now, in that time span, Yanni Peretz only faced one shot.
Oh, one shot? Was that all? Yeah, okay.
Only one shot, yeah. And he makes a good save, but it was,
Statistically, he's our best goalie.
Yeah, he's the best there's ever been. Yeah.
He should retire now.
But, yeah, Carolina pushed back in this game after that goal, but it
I was optimistic.
Yeah, it just really wasn't there. I mean, they got the goal from Drury to make it 4-2. Nason with another slick pass behind the net. I saw someone posted somewhere, it might have been on Reddit, but they did a cheapest point in the league breakdown. So based on the guy's salary and how many points he has, who's the cheapest. Nason is averaging 1 point for every 28,000 or something like that, and he's by far the lowest on this list here. So just excellent value out of him.
He's moved around a lot, but he's a really good player.
Well, this is the first time he's had an extended NHL career. He's been up and down AHL at least.
Right, okay.
I haven't looked fully into his career, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of been the story with him. Is he's had some opportunities at the NHL level, really hasn't been sticking for him. And this is, I don't see him going back anytime soon to the AHL. He's been great.
No. Fast had limited time on this game, coming back from injury. I don't know if he was re-injured. He only had 7 minutes, 46 seconds of ice time.
Well, he's playing with the fourth line now. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So Drury scores to make it, like you said, 4-2. And I was getting a little bit optimistic, but it is late in the game.
Yeah, Kings
then Moore scored his 20th from Deneau and Waugh.
Yeah, he makes a smart play. He the Hurricanes pull the goalie with about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. They don't really get any good looks, but on a play where the Kings are about to exit the zone and clearly just dump it down the ice, he reads the play and knows that it's about to exit the zone, so he just takes off, blows past Stahl and is able to get the wide open empty net goal after he picks up the rebound. So smart play by him. Yeah, just kind of indicative of the way that the Hurricanes were. I looked at the moneypuck.com deserved to win meter, and we did have a slight edge, 52-48. But just overall, just flat, pretty flat all night.
At the beginning of the game, it was 52-48.
No. The end of the game is 52. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's what is supposed to be like. Who deserved to win the game? How many shots based off where those shots are taken from? X, Y, and Z factors. Blah 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 blah. And we did outshoot the Kings in this game. We did have some decent looks. Riddick was really good, all night. He's only beaten on a couple tough plays, good play by Jarvis to find Martinook for the 2-on-1 one-timer, and then one does sneak by him. Drury kind of under the glove there, but bing bang play in front of the net, so hard to fault him on that. But Canes were just a little bit flat, but the system seemed to be there. The effort, I don't want to say that the effort was there. The structure wasn't bad all night. They just didn't outplay the Kings. The Kings did a good job forcing the outsides, particularly late in the third period. Canes only had 2 shots in the final 10 minutes of the game. So that's pretty tough. Yeah. That's pretty tough.
One note I made on my little notepad here. Mm-hmm. It's late in the third period. The Kings are trying to push. 3 times Aho lost the puck on the left wall.
Yeah. He was looking good earlier in the game. I think he just was trying to do a little too much at the end there.
I agree. He's just trying to do more than he. I mean, they were there. There was nothing. There was no place to go. So that was a little bit disappointing.
Give credit to the Kings. They played a good road game. They just limited our chances. Really didn't do much, but we were just kind of flat all night. I don't expect us to be like that again, but we do have a pretty big break here coming up before the Detroit game. I mean, it's what, Wednesday now? Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah, the Detroit game is tonight. Friday.
Friday night, yeah. So we're recording this right now on Wednesday night. Probably will come out Thursday. But yeah, it's maybe even Friday morning this might come out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then after the Wings, we have the Wild on a Sunday matinee, if you will. Bruins come to town. Is this the first time we played the Bruins this year? And then after that on a back-to-back, you were talking about these back-to-backs. 2 tough games. We got Bruins and then Devils.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one right there.
This is a tough week. The Wings are playing decently. Arizona's at the end of that month. At the end of the month, and they're playing decently. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, look at the month of January here. Between January 6th and January 15th, you only play 3 games. Yeah. Then between the 19th and the 27th, you play 5 games.
Yeah.
Right? So weird scheduling here. And then the All-Star break is after that. So just weird scheduling here. A lot of home games coming up, but we got to finish out this homestead. What do you call it? Home game run. Homestand, yeah. We got to finish this out strong. Detroit's, they're kind of a middling team. Minnesota, kind of the same thing, but they're good teams. They can beat you on any given night. We got to remain sharp. 3 days before our next game between the Kings and Detroit. I just never like when the guys are sitting that long. And then you got a 2-day break after Minnesota on the 21st till the 24th when you play Boston at home in Boston. Then you come back to Carolina the very next day to play Jersey, who's they've had an up and down season. I don't know if they've been playing a little bit better lately, but again, always dangerous. And we know what Boston's like. They've got a great record right now. They can always beat you. And then freaking Arizona at the end of the month, like you mentioned. It's going to be a tough month. We got to get, let's see, we've got 5 games the rest of the month. I'd really like to get 3 of those wins, if not more. But, I just don't like the way that schedule looks.
Yeah, so the Devils have won, are 5-4-1 their last 10. The Bruins are 6-1-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said the Devils are what?
5-4-1.
5-4-1. Yeah, so
The Devils are out of the playoffs right now if they started today. The Red Wings are in. The Bruins are in.
Now look at it from this perspective. We've had another two wins, 1 loss week. The past 6 games have been 4 wins, 2 losses. If we can do something similar for the next 5 games, I think you got to be happy with the month of January if that's the case. But let's take a look at the standings. You got them pulled up there.
Yeah. I'm looking at the playoff standings. So right now in the Metro,
Hurricanes are 3rd in the division. The Flyers have surpassed us.
Yeah, but then we have a game in hand, and it's only 1 point.
Correct.
So hopefully.
Yep.
But if you look down at the Wings are 3rd in the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Every time we look at these standings, the parities. I mean, we just beat the Kings. They're 3rd in their division. Yeah. The teams who are 3rd in each division are really good. Dallas Stars, LA Kings, maybe not the Red Wings, but then the Hurricanes are there. So the parity in this league, it's a tough league to win consistently.
I will say this: the bottom of the league is more weaker. I think. I guess I would argue it's weaker, even though I don't have percentages here. In the Pacific or in the Western, you got Sharks, Blackhawks, Ducks.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have in the East, Senators, the Blue Jackets, but they're more.
They can win. They can win. They got talent. Yeah. Anyone can win on any given night. Now I got a little thing I want to propose to you here. It's early, but the Canes look like they're gonna be making the playoffs, probably with a fairly good seed. At least middle of the pack, I would hope.
Yeah.
WWGMDWD. What would GM Don Waddell do? You're him right now at this point of the season. What are the thoughts going through your head? With this team, you got to consider the goaltending situation. You got to consider if you need to add a forward at the deadline. You got to consider what you're doing with Shea, Pesci, just all of these things. I know it's a very broad question, but what are you thinking? It's early. In your ideal world, how does the rest of this season shake out roster-wise?
I think I got to be honest with you. I don't know that there's going to be incremental upgrades within each line. Now, if you say Aho is the first line and you say Stahl's the third line, and who's the fourth line? It's Fast and Nason.
Fast and Lemieux and Nason, I guess, is on that line. I mean,
Who's the second line then?
Well, the second line has been just blank.
Yeah.
Kokiniemi, Natchez is on it when he's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, Drury and Natchez and Kokiniemi have been playing together. The lines are all jumbled. There isn't, that's how it is with the Rod Brind'Amour system. There is no 1 through 4, but.
But if you look at that second line, let's say it's KK, Natchez, and whomever.
Mm-hmm.
If you could upgrade one of those two, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, KK, as bad as he's playing, he still has 9 goals.
Yeah, but they all came at the very beginning of the season.
And you know what I've noticed about him lately? He falls down a lot. I don't know if he
I'll have to watch that.
I
mean, I think he plays hard. He took a penalty this past.
For sure.
He's built like Svetch, but he doesn't play. He's just not as good. I was really encouraged by his play at the beginning of the season, but he hasn't done anything. He's got like 1 point in his past 10 games. It's bad. It's really bad.
I guess I'm okay with the defense.
Okay, but Pesci and Shea both on expiring contracts.
I want to keep them.
You just keep them both? You just re-sign them both in the offseason?
I want to keep them.
Pesci's play has gotten significantly better recently.
I think if I could get a goalie.
That Pittsburgh game was his best of the season.
I don't know what goalie you get that you say, he's hands down going to be better than Kochetkov down the stretch.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what you look for either. I think you just look for a guy who can fill in because our goalies are made of paper mache.
Yeah.
You can't rely on Ronta and Kochetkov the rest of the season. I'm assuming Freddie's just not coming back. Until I hear word of it, I'm just assuming it's just not going to happen. He was there for Justin Williams' night. He was there. He saw the ceremony and all that stuff. So
yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, it's early in the season to really. The power play's been good, so that issue, which we probably would have said last season, that would needed to be addressed in the in before the playoffs started, is now no longer an issue, right? We got Pacioretty last season, didn't work out, obviously, but we're not necessarily really needing that guy right now. Bunting came in to add a little bit of an offensive spark. He's second on the team in assists. I don't know how many goals these guys probably, I don't know, right around where KK's at maybe.
I looked it up and I lost it already. Yeah,
I don't know. I agree. I don't think there's big marginal jumps that you can get out there on the market.
If you could upgrade that line, whether it's Natchez or KK, with a high energy, someone with experience, a la like Doug Waite when he came in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know who that is. I don't know. We talk about Lindholm a lot because he's on the end at the last year of his contract, I think, with Calgary. But he's getting up there in age, and he's not. He's a very cerebral player, and he's a good player. But I don't know if he's like.
He's very sound defensively, which we like.
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I just wanted to throw it out there. Maybe we'll mull it around a little bit more next episode. I do think my answer is at least you got to do something with the goaltending. You got to get someone in there who can play net. Yanni Peretz is as good as he is. I just don't think he's going to be that good for that long until he's becomes a true NHLer. He's just not there yet. So, got to get something going there. Hopefully, Kochetkov comes back soon. Didn't really get any sort of update since he left. He's just in
what was it on him?
Concussion protocol.
Okay, so it was his head.
So
not a knee or anything.
No, but he did walk off kind of like. It seemed like it might have been like his neck or something, or like his leg. Like I don't know. He skated off weird. It didn't seem like it was purely head, but when just from his body language when he was skating off, that's what they said. It was it took him a while to get off the ice. So all right. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you can, share it with as many people as you can. We really appreciate you watching, listening to us ramble. Go Canes, and thank you for watching.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you. Good night.